The execution was broadcast live across the galaxy. Billions of humans watched in horror as President Amelia Voss, the charismatic leader of Earth's unified council, stood defiantly on the platform, her voice unwavering even in the face of death. The Galactic Empire had deemed her a threat to their dominion, accusing her of inciting rebellion among the lesser systems. Her crime? Advocating for humanity's autonomy in a galaxy ruled with an iron fist. To the people of Earth, she declared, her voice cutting through the jeers of the alien crowd, "Do not let this be the end. Our spirit is unbreakable. Our unity is our strength. Fight for our future. Fight for..." The executioner silenced her with a blinding flash of energy. Her body crumpled to the ground, lifeless. The image seared itself into the minds of every human watching, a stark reminder of their subjugation. On Earth, riots erupted. Crowds filled the streets, their anger and grief palpable. The government, long weary of the Empire's oppression, convened in secret. In a fortified bunker deep beneath the Andes Mountains, the world's brightest minds gathered around a holographic table, their faces grim. "Activate Project Nemesis," General Elias Carter said, his voice low but resolute. "It's time we showed the Empire what happens when you push humanity too far." Project Nemesis was Earth's most closely guarded secret, a weapon so advanced, so devastating, that its existence had been kept from even the highest-ranking officials. Developed over decades in clandestine research facilities, the weapon had one purpose: to disable alien technology by exploiting the unique electromagnetic signatures of their systems. As engineers and scientists worked tirelessly to prepare the weapon for deployment, the Empire's fleets tightened their grip on Earth's colonies, enforcing martial law and quelling dissent with brutal efficiency. The situation was dire, but the unified council refused to surrender. In orbit around Earth, the Empire's flagship, the Dominion's Wrath, hovered like a harbinger of doom. Its commander, Admiral Krenner, was a seasoned veteran known for his ruthlessness. He had crushed rebellions on a dozen worlds, and he intended to make Earth an example. But humanity had other plans. On the day of the strike, the Nemesis weapon was deployed from a concealed launch site in Antarctica. A pulse of energy, invisible to the naked eye but devastating in its effect, radiated outwards, disabling every piece of alien technology within a 1,000-kilometer radius. The Dominion's Wrath, once a symbol of invincibility, became a powerless hulk drifting in orbit. On the ground, human forces launched a coordinated attack, striking at Imperial garrisons and reclaiming lost territory. Civilians, emboldened by the sudden turn of events, joined the fight, their defiance fueled by the memory of Amelia Voss. As the battle raged, the true power of Nemesis became clear. It wasn't just a weapon, it was a statement. Humanity was no longer content to be a subordinate in the Empire's hierarchy. They had found their voice and they intended to use it, but victory came at a cost. The pulse had far-reaching consequences, disrupting not only the Empire's technology but also Earth's infrastructure. The Unified Council faced a difficult decision. Should they continue to use Nemesis, risking further destabilization, or seek another way to resist the Empire? As the war escalated, alliances shifted, and secrets were revealed, humanity found itself at a crossroads. The fate of Earth and the balance of power in the galaxy hung in the balance. As Earth celebrated its first victory against the Empire, the galaxy watched with bated breath. Across the stars, the execution of Amelia Voss and the activation of the Nemesis weapon became the most discussed events of the century. For some, Earth's defiance was a beacon of hope. For others, it was a dangerous precedent. In the Empire's central command, located on the heavily fortified world of Imperium Prime, Emperor Tarsus convened his war council. The room, a cold expanse of metal and holographic displays, hummed with tension as advisors and generals debated their next move. Admiral Krenner, his reputation tarnished by the disaster above Earth, stood stiffly at the Emperor's side. "They have crossed a line," Tarsus growled, his golden eyes glinting with fury. "A single world dares to challenge the might of the Empire. We cannot let this stand." The council's deliberations were interrupted by an unexpected arrival. Ambassador Rilek of the Arcanis Alliance, a coalition of neutral systems, requested an audience. The alliance had remained aloof from the Empire's conflicts, valuing its autonomy above all else. But now, with the balance of power shifting, they saw an opportunity to assert themselves. "Your Majesty," Rilek began, his tone measured, "Earth's actions are unprecedented, but their technology presents an opportunity as much as a threat. If the Empire were to seize the Nemesis weapon, it could solidify its dominance for generations." Tarsus leaned forward, his interest piqued. "And you propose what, Ambassador?" "A partnership," Rilek replied. "The Arcanis Alliance will assist in capturing the weapon, in exchange for favorable trade terms and shared access to its schematics." The Emperor considered the offer, his mind calculating calculating the risks and rewards. Finally, he nodded. Very well, but failure will not be tolerated. Back on Earth, General Carter and his team worked tirelessly to refine the Nemesis weapon. They knew it was only a matter of time before the Empire retaliated, and they needed to be ready. Among the team was Dr. Ilara Vance, the lead scientist behind Nemesis. Brilliant and fiercely independent, Ilara had poured years of her life into the project, driven by a desire to protect humanity at all costs. But as she reviewed the data from the weapon's first deployment, a troubling pattern emerged. The pulse, designed to disable alien technology, was causing unforeseen side effects on Earth's own systems. Communications networks were faltering, and critical infrastructure was under strain. Ilara, what's the situation? Carter asked, noticing her furrowed brow. The weapon's pulse is destabilizing our systems, she replied. If we use it again without adjustments, the fallout could be catastrophic. Carter sighed, the weight of the war pressing heavily on his shoulders. Do whatever you need to fix it. We don't have the luxury of failure. As Earth scrambled to prepare for the next phase of the conflict, the Empire and the Arcanis Alliance launched a covert operation to infiltrate the planet. A team of elite operatives, led by the enigmatic Captain Jorith, was dispatched to steal the Nemesis schematics. Their mission was clear: retrieve the technology or ensure it could never be used again. The infiltrators arrived under the cover of darkness, slipping past Earth's orbital defenses using cloaking devices. On the ground, they moved with precision, evading patrols and using advanced equipment to bypass security measures. But Earth's defenders were not so easily outmaneuvered. Lieutenant Mara Hayes, head of planetary security, had anticipated such a move. Her team had set up countermeasures, and as the infiltrators neared the Nemesis facility, they walked straight into an ambush. The ensuing battle was brutal. Earth soldiers, armed with a mix of conventional weapons and experimental tech, fought fiercely to protect their most valuable asset. Jorith and his team, outnumbered and outgunned, relied on their superior training and gadgets to hold their own. In the chaos, Ilara found herself in the crossfire. As the lead scientist, she was a primary target, and Jorith himself pursued her through the labyrinthine corridors of the facility. But Ilara was no helpless victim. Using her intimate knowledge of the building's layout and her quick thinking, she managed to evade capture, leading Jorith into a trap that neutralized him and his remaining operatives. With the infiltrators defeated, Earth breathed a sigh of relief. But the victory was short-lived. The data recovered from Jorith's equipment revealed that the Empire and the Arcanis Alliance were amassing a massive fleet, one that would dwarf anything humanity had faced before. As the Unified Council convened to discuss their next move, General Carter addressed the room with grim determination. The Nemesis weapon has given us a fighting chance, he said, but it's not enough. We need allies, and we need them now. Thus began Earth's diplomatic campaign. Messages were sent to every system and faction that had ever chafed under the Empire's rule. Some responded with enthusiasm, eager to join the fight. Others were hesitant, unwilling to risk the Empire's wrath. Among the responders was a surprising ally, the Sarnak, a nomadic species known for their cunning and resourcefulness. Their leader, Chief Varen, pledged his people's support, seeing in Earth's defiance a kindred spirit. Together, they began to formulate a strategy for the coming storm. As the galaxy braced for the largest conflict in its history, one thing became clear: the days of the Empire's unquestioned dominance were over. Humanity had lit a spark, and the fire of rebellion was spreading. The galaxy teetered on the edge of chaos. News of Earth's defiance spread like wildfire, igniting rebellions on worlds long oppressed by the Empire. The once unshakable regime found itself stretched thin, its fleets divided as it struggled to maintain control. But the Empire was far from defeated. On Earth, preparations for the inevitable clash continued at a breakneck pace. General Carter worked closely with Chief Varen to integrate the Sarnak's unique guerrilla tactics into Earth's defensive strategies. Their collaboration was not without friction. Earth's rigid military protocols often clashed with the Sarnak's unorthodox methods, but both sides recognized the need for unity. Meanwhile, Dr. Ilara Vance faced mounting pressure to perfect the Nemesis weapon. The initial deployment had proven its effectiveness, but the unintended consequences remained a thorn in her side. Days blurred into nights as she and her team worked tirelessly in the underground labs, running simulations and testing modifications. Ilara, Mara Hayes said during one of her rare visits to the lab, "You've got to take a break. You're running yourself into the ground." "I can't afford to," Ilara replied, her voice tinged with exhaustion. "If we don't fix this, we could end up destroying ourselves along with the Empire." Mara placed a hand on Ilara's shoulder. "You're not alone in this. Remember that." Their conversation was interrupted by an urgent call from the command center. A fleet of Empire ships, smaller than expected but heavily heavily armed, had entered the solar system. The Unified Council quickly deduced that this was a probing attack, a test of Earth's defenses before the main assault. General Carter mobilized the planet's forces, deploying fighters and ground-based artillery to intercept the invaders. The Nemesis weapon was prepared for a second use, but Carter hesitated. Every deployment risked further damage to Earth's infrastructure, and he knew they couldn't afford to cripple themselves before the real battle began. Instead, he opted for a different approach. Using intelligence provided by the Sarnak, Earth's forces lured the Empire's fleet into an ambush in the asteroid belt. There, concealed mines and automated turrets tore through the enemy ships, leaving the survivors to retreat in disarray. The victory bolstered morale on Earth, but it also underscored the precariousness of their situation. The Empire was adapting, learning from each encounter. The next attack would not be so easily repelled. In the weeks that followed, the Unified Council sent emissaries to the far corners of the galaxy, seeking allies among the disaffected and the oppressed. Their most daring mission was to the Renner Confederacy, a powerful but isolationist faction that had long avoided involvement in galactic politics. Mara Hayes was chosen to lead the delegation. The Renner were known for their distrust of outsiders, but Mara's reputation as a cunning negotiator made her the ideal candidate. Accompanied by a small team, she journeyed to the Renner capital, a sprawling city built into the cliffs of a canyon world. The negotiations were tense. The Renner Chancellor, a stern figure named Catherine Vall, listened impassively as Mara presented Earth's case. She spoke of the Empire's tyranny, of the opportunity to reshape the galaxy, and of the importance of standing together in the face of oppression. When she finished, Catherine leaned back in his chair, his expression unreadable. "You speak of unity," he said, "but unity is a fragile thing. What guarantees can you offer that this rebellion will not descend into chaos?" Mara met his gaze without flinching. "There are no guarantees," she admitted, "but doing nothing guarantees that the Empire will continue its reign of terror. We're not asking you to fight our battle for us. We're asking you to stand with us, as equals, to create a future where no one lives in fear." Her words struck a chord. After hours of deliberation, the Renner agreed to join the coalition. Their advanced fleet and technological expertise would be a game-changer in the fight against the Empire. As alliances solidified, the Empire launched a propaganda campaign, portraying Earth as a rogue planet endangering the galaxy. They accused humanity of wielding a weapon that could destabilize entire star systems, a claim that was not entirely untrue. The campaign sowed doubt among some of Earth's allies, forcing the Unified Council to work even harder to maintain unity. Alara, aware of the growing skepticism, proposed a bold plan. "We need to show them the truth," she said during a council meeting. "Invite representatives from our allies to witness the weapon's capabilities firsthand. Transparency is our strongest weapon against the Empire's lies." The council agreed, and a demonstration was arranged. On a barren moon in a remote system, delegates from across the galaxy gathered to witness the Nemesis weapon in action. As the pulse disabled a fleet of unmanned Empire drones, the delegates saw not just its power but its precision. The demonstration was a success, renewing faith in the coalition. But even as the coalition prepared for the final confrontation, cracks began to form. Some factions questioned whether the Nemesis weapon was too dangerous to exist, even in Earth's hands. Others feared that victory over the Empire would simply replace one hegemon with another. General Carter, sensing the growing unease, called a meeting of the coalition's leaders. "We didn't come together to replace tyranny with tyranny," he said. "The Nemesis weapon is a means to an end, not a tool for domination. When this war is over, we will dismantle it together." His pledge calmed the dissenters, at least for the moment. But the underlying tensions remained, a reminder that even unity had its limits. As the galaxy braced for the Empire's inevitable counterstrike, the coalition faced its greatest challenge yet, not just defeating a common enemy, but proving that their vision for a better future was worth fighting for. The day of reckoning arrived sooner than anyone had anticipated. The Empire's main fleet, a colossal armada of warships, emerged from hyperspace at the edge of Earth's solar system. The sight of the fleet, its numbers seemingly endless, sent a ripple of dread through the coalition. From his command ship, the Dominion's Wrath II, Emperor Tarsus addressed the galaxy in a broadcast designed to intimidate. His image, larger than life, loomed over the coalition forces as his voice reverberated through their systems. "This rebellion ends today," he declared. "Earth's defiance has brought nothing but chaos and destruction. Let this be a lesson to all who dare challenge the Empire. Resistance is futile." On Earth, General Carter stood in the war room, surrounded by holographic projections of the approaching fleet. The coalition leaders, linked via secure communication channels, watched in grim silence as he laid out the battle plan. "This "This is it," Carter said. "We knew this day would come. The Nemesis weapon will give us an edge, but it's not enough on its own. We need to outthink them, outmaneuver them, and above all, we need to fight as one." The Coalition's fleet, a patchwork of ships from dozens of species, moved into position. Each vessel bore the scars of past battles, a testament to the resilience of those who had joined the fight. At the heart of the formation was the Unity, a massive carrier retrofitted with a prototype Nemesis array capable of targeting multiple ships simultaneously. As the battle commenced, the void of space erupted in a cacophony of light and sound. Beams of energy streaked across the darkness, colliding with shields and hulls in bursts of color. The Empire's forces pressed their advantage, their sheer numbers threatening to overwhelm the Coalition. But the Coalition fought with desperation and ingenuity. Sarnak raiders darted between the larger ships, exploiting weak points in the Empire's formations. Renner warships, equipped with advanced cloaking devices, struck from the shadows, sowing chaos among the enemy ranks. On the Unity, Alara worked tirelessly to keep the Nemesis array operational. The strain of repeated activations pushed the system to its limits, and every pulse risked a catastrophic failure. Mara Hayes, stationed on the bridge, coordinated the fleet's movements, her voice a steady anchor amidst the chaos. "We're holding the line, but barely," Mara reported. "Alara, how much longer can we keep this up?" "Not long," Alara replied, her voice taut with exhaustion. "The array wasn't designed for sustained use. We need to end this, and fast." As the battle raged on, a breakthrough came from an unexpected source. Chief Varen, aboard his flagship, the Sarnak's Pride, had identified a vulnerability in the Dominion's Wrath II. The ship's command tower, heavily fortified but exposed at its apex, served as the nerve center for the entire fleet. "If we can take out that tower, we can cripple their command structure," Varen said, transmitting the coordinates to the Coalition. Carter seized on the opportunity. "Mara, take the Unity and a strike team to target that tower. We'll cover you." The Unity, flanked by a squadron of escorts, broke away from the main battle and made a beeline for the Dominion's Wrath II. The Empire's ships moved to intercept, but the Coalition forces redoubled their efforts, drawing fire away from the strike team. As the Unity approached the target, Alara activated the Nemesis array one final time. The pulse swept through the battlefield, disabling a swath of Empire ships and clearing a path for the strike team. But the array, pushed beyond its limits, began to overload. "Alara, get out of there!" Mara shouted as alarms blared throughout the Unity. "I can stabilize it," Alara insisted, her hands flying over the controls. "Just give me." An explosion rocked the Unity, cutting her off. The array went dark, its systems fried. But the sacrifice was not in vain. The strike team, led by Mara, launched an assault on the Dominion's Wrath II, breaching its defenses and planting charges on the command tower. As the charges detonated, the tower erupted in flames. The Empire's fleet, suddenly leaderless and disorganized, faltered. Coalition forces seized the moment, pressing their advantage and driving the Empire into a full retreat. Back on Earth, the mood was a mixture of triumph and sorrow. The Coalition had won the day, but the cost had been steep. Ships lay in ruins, countless lives had been lost, and the Nemesis weapon was irreparably damaged. In the aftermath, the Unified Council convened to address the future. The Coalition's victory had created a power vacuum, and the galaxy looked to Earth for guidance. "We've shown that the Empire is not invincible," Carter said during the session. "But victory means nothing if we fail to build something better. Let's use this moment to create a galaxy where no one lives under tyranny." The Council's decision to dismantle the Nemesis weapon was met with mixed reactions, but the majority agreed that its existence posed too great a risk. Instead, Earth and its allies pledged to focus on diplomacy, cooperation, and rebuilding. As the galaxy began to heal, Mara visited Alara in the medical bay. The scientist, recovering from her injuries, managed a weak smile as Mara entered. "You did it," Mara said, sitting by her side. "We did it," Alara nodded, her eyes filled with a mixture of relief and weariness. "Now we have to make it worth it." As Earth and its allies worked to forge a new era of peace, the memory of Amelia Voss, the spark that had ignited the rebellion, remained a guiding light. Her sacrifice had set the galaxy on a path of change, and her words continued to inspire those who dared to dream of a better future. And so, as the stars shone over a galaxy forever changed, humanity's defiance became a symbol of hope, a reminder that even in the face of overwhelming odds, the fight for freedom was always worth it. Months after the Coalition's victory, the galaxy began to experience the first signs of true peace in generations. The Empire, though weakened, still existed in fragmented states, each vying for dominance over the remnants of their once mighty regime. The Unified Council, alongside representatives from the Coalition, worked tirelessly to stabilize the regions left in the Empire. Empire's wake. On Earth, reconstruction efforts were in full swing. The scars of war, both physical and emotional, were evident everywhere. Cities rebuilt their infrastructures, families mourned their losses, and communities rallied together to support one another. The Nemesis weapon, now decommissioned, was placed in a secure facility as a relic of both triumph and caution. General Carter, now regarded as a hero across the galaxy, used his influence to push for systemic changes in Earth's governance. "We cannot allow power to concentrate unchecked. Not here, not anywhere," he said during a council meeting. His efforts led to the creation of a new charter that prioritized transparency, accountability, and the prevention of tyranny. Dr. Alara Vance, though physically recovered, struggled with the weight of her creation. She spent her days mentoring a new generation of scientists, emphasizing the ethical responsibilities of technological advancement. One evening, while walking through a park near the Andes facility, she encountered a group of children playing a game based on the Coalition's victory. "They look up to you, you know," Mara Hayes said, joining Alara. "You gave them a future to believe in." Alara shook her head, her expression wistful. "We gave them a chance. It's up to them to decide what to do with it." Across the galaxy, the Coalition faced new challenges. The power vacuum left by the Empire created opportunities for both progress and chaos. Independent systems, long suppressed, began to flourish, forming trade alliances and cultural exchanges. Yet not all welcomed the new order. Rogue factions, remnants of the Empire, and opportunistic warlords sought to exploit the instability. Chief Varen and the Sarnak played a crucial role in keeping these threats at bay. Using their expertise in asymmetrical warfare, they led missions to dismantle pirate enclaves and protect vulnerable systems. Varen's efforts earned the respect of his allies, and he was often called upon to mediate disputes within the Coalition. The Renner Confederacy, true to their nature, focused on technological advancement. Their scientists collaborated with Earth's researchers to develop sustainable energy solutions and medical technologies that would benefit all species. Chancellor Catherine Vall, once skeptical of the rebellion, became a vocal advocate for unity, reminding the galaxy of the importance of shared purpose. As the years passed, the Coalition transformed into a formalized organization known as the Galactic Concord. Its mission was clear: to preserve peace, promote cooperation, and ensure that no single entity could dominate the galaxy as the Empire once had. The Concord's headquarters, built on Krylos Prime, symbolized the collaboration of countless worlds. Mara Hayes, now a senior diplomat, was instrumental in shaping the Concord's policies. Her ability to navigate complex negotiations and her unwavering dedication to justice made her a beloved figure among her peers. She often worked closely with Varen and Catherine, their partnership a cornerstone of the Concord's success. Back on Earth, General Carter prepared to retire from active service. During his farewell address, he reflected on the journey that had brought humanity to this point. "We faced the darkness and refused to back down," he said. "But the fight isn't over. It never is. The fight for peace, for freedom, for a better future. That's a fight worth having every day." As he stepped down, a new generation of leaders rose to take his place, inspired by the sacrifices and achievements of those who came before them. Among them was Eliana Tor, a young diplomat from a distant colony who had studied under Mara. Her idealism and determination made her a beacon of hope for the galaxy's future. Despite the progress, whispers of a new threat began to emerge. In the uncharted regions beyond the Concord's reach, strange anomalies were reported: ships disappearing without a trace, colonies going silent. The Concord dispatched exploratory missions to investigate, but the findings were inconclusive. In a private meeting, Mara, Varen, and Catherine discussed the potential implications. "We fought so hard to build this," Mara said. "Whatever's out there, we can't let it tear us apart." Varen nodded, his expression grim. "We'll be ready. Whatever comes next, we'll face it together." As the stars glittered above the Concord's headquarters, the galaxy stood on the precipice of a new chapter. The legacy of Earth's defiance and the Coalition's unity had reshaped the cosmos, proving that even in the darkest times, hope could prevail. And so, with the echoes of past struggles serving as both a warning and an inspiration, the galaxy moved forward, ready to confront the challenges of tomorrow with the same resolve that had carried it through the trials of yesterday. As the Galactic Concord solidified its place as a stabilizing force, the cracks in its foundation became more apparent. While many systems embraced the new order, others harbored resentment, believing that the Concord was little more than a softer version of the Empire. These dissenting voices grew louder as the Concord expanded its reach, enforcing its policies on reluctant systems. Mara Hayes found herself at the center of these tensions. As a senior diplomat, she was tasked with mediating disputes and addressing the grievances of member worlds. One such dispute brought her to the system of Draxon, a mining colony that had become a hotbed of resistance. The Draxon leaders accused the Concord of exploiting their resources under the guise of mutual prosperity. Mara, accompanied by Eliana Tor, met with the leaders in a tense negotiation that highlighted the fragility of the Concord's alliances. "You claim to represent unity," said Governor Tren Vox, his tone dripping with skepticism. "But unity at what cost? You impose your policies without understanding our struggles. How is this any different from the Empire?" Eliana, eager to prove herself, responded with conviction. "The Concord isn't perfect, but it's built on the principle of collaboration, not domination. We're here to listen and to find solutions that work for everyone." Tren eyed her carefully before nodding. "Then prove it. Show us that your Concord is more than empty words." Mara and Eliana spent weeks on Draxon, working with local leaders to address their concerns. They implemented fair trade agreements, improved working conditions, and established channels for ongoing dialogue. By the time they left, the colony's stance had softened, but Mara knew it was only a temporary victory. The challenges of maintaining unity were far from over. Meanwhile, in the uncharted regions of the galaxy, the mysterious anomalies continued to spread. The Concord's exploratory missions revealed disturbing patterns. The anomalies appeared to target advanced civilizations, disabling their technology and rendering them defenseless. The parallels to the Nemesis weapon were too significant to ignore. Alara Vance, though retired from active research, was called upon to investigate. Reluctantly, she joined the Concord's Scientific Council, determined to uncover the truth behind the anomalies. Her findings were alarming. The anomalies were not natural phenomena, but the result of an ancient, automated defense system designed to suppress technological advancement. These systems were likely created by a long-extinct civilization, Alara explained during a council briefing. Their purpose seems to be to reset the technological progress of any species that reaches a certain threshold. If left unchecked, they could destabilize the entire galaxy. The revelation sent shockwaves through the Concord. The anomalies represented a threat not just to the Concord, but to every civilization in the galaxy. Mara, Varen, and Kethrin convened an emergency summit to address the crisis. "We must act quickly," Varen urged. "If these systems are allowed to continue, they'll undo everything we've built." "But how do we fight something we barely understand?" Kethrin countered. "We need more information before we can take meaningful action." Mara, ever pragmatic, proposed a compromise. "We'll form a task force to study the anomalies and develop countermeasures. At the same time, we need to strengthen our alliances and prepare for the possibility that this threat will escalate." The task force, composed of scientists, engineers, and military strategists, began their work with urgency. Alara led the research efforts, her mind once again consumed by the challenge of saving the galaxy. Despite the pressure, she found solace in her friendship with Mara, whose unwavering support reminded her that she wasn't alone. As the Concord braced for the next chapter in its journey, the galaxy watched with a mix of hope and apprehension. The legacy of Earth's defiance and the Coalition's unity had reshaped the cosmos, but the future remained uncertain. In the quiet moments between crises, Mara reflected on how far they had come. Sitting on the balcony of her quarters, she gazed at the stars and thought of the sacrifices that had brought them here. Amelia Voss, General Carter, and countless others had given everything for a chance at a better future. It was a legacy worth fighting for. Alara joined her, a rare smile on her face. "You think we'll ever see the end of this?" she asked, her tone light but tinged with weariness. "Probably not," Mara admitted, "but that's the point, isn't it? The fight never really ends. We just keep pushing forward, one step at a time." As the stars shimmered above, the two women sat in companionable silence, their bond a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. Together, they faced the unknown, ready to confront whatever challenges lay ahead. The story of Earth's defiance had become a legend, inspiring generations to come. And though the path forward was fraught with uncertainty, one thing was clear: the fight for freedom, unity, and hope would endure. As the task force delved deeper into the origins of the anomalies, they uncovered fragments of an ancient civilization's archives buried on a remote planet. The archives revealed that the anomalies were part of a galactic safeguard, a failsafe left behind by a species known as the Erythians. The Erythians had once ruled the galaxy with unmatched technological prowess, but their obsession with control had led them to create the the anomaly network to prevent any species from rivaling their dominance. The discovery sent shockwaves through the Concord. The Erythians had long been considered myths, their existence debated among scholars. Now, their legacy threatened to undo the progress of countless civilizations. Alara Vance and her team worked tirelessly to decipher the archives and develop a countermeasure. The key lay in dismantling the central hub of the anomaly network, located in the heart of a treacherous nebula known as the Veil of Shadows. It was a perilous mission, one that would require the combined efforts of the Concord's best. Mara Hayes, Varen, and Kethrin led the operation, coordinating a fleet of ships to penetrate the nebula and disable the hub. The journey was fraught with danger. The Veil of Shadows lived up to its name, its dense clouds obscuring navigation and its volatile energy fields wreaking havoc on systems. As the fleet approached the hub, they encountered automated defenses left behind by the Erythians. The ancient constructs, dormant for millennia, sprang to life with terrifying precision. The Concord's forces engaged in a desperate battle, their survival hinging on the ingenuity of their leaders and the bravery of their crews. Alara, aboard the flagship Radiant Dawn, directed the team responsible for disabling the hub. Using the data recovered from the archives, they navigated the labyrinthine structure, evading traps and countering the Erythians' automated systems. The mission reached its climax as Alara and her team reached the core. The hub's energy pulsated with an eerie light, its sheer power a testament to the Erythians' technological mastery. With time running out, Alara deployed a destabilizing algorithm designed to overload the hub systems. As the hub began to collapse, the fleet scrambled to escape the nebula. Explosions lit up the darkness, the destruction of the hub sending shockwaves through the veil. The Concord's ships emerged battered but triumphant, the anomaly network disabled at last. The galaxy breathed a collective sigh of relief. With the anomalies neutralized, the path to rebuilding and progress was clear. The Concord emerged stronger than ever, its unity tested and proven in the face of existential threats. Back on Krylos Prime, the Concord's leaders gathered to commemorate the victory. The celebration was bittersweet, a reminder of the sacrifices that had been made to secure the galaxy's future. Mara, Alara, Varen, and Kethrin stood side by side, their bond unshakable. In her address to the assembly, Mara reflected on the journey that had brought them here. "We have faced the worst the galaxy could throw at us," she said, "and we have emerged not as conquerors, but as stewards of a new era. Let us honor those we have lost by building a future worthy of their sacrifice." Her words resonated deeply, the crowd erupting into applause. The legacy of Earth's defiance, of the Coalition's unity, had become a guiding light for the galaxy. As the stars shone brightly over the Concord's capital, Alara found herself once again gazing at the heavens. Beside her, Mara shared the quiet moment, the weight of their achievements settling over them. "Do you think we've done enough?" Alara asked, her voice soft. "We've done what we could," Mara replied, "and we'll keep doing it. That's all we can ask of ourselves." The galaxy, once fractured and dominated by fear, now stood on the brink of a new chapter. The Concord's unity and resilience had proven that even in the face of overwhelming odds, hope could prevail. As the Radiant Dawn prepared to embark on a new mission to explore the uncharted regions of the galaxy, the story of Earth's defiance and the Coalition's triumph became a legend. It was a story of courage, unity, and the unyielding spirit of those who dared to dream of a better tomorrow. And so, with the stars as their guide, humanity and its allies forged ahead, ready to face whatever challenges lay beyond the horizon. Their legacy an enduring reminder that the fight for freedom and justice was always worth it.